My name is Courtney. I work for Millcraft, and I'm the Vice President of Sales. We are a 100-year-old anniversary, or 100-year-old company today, family-owned distribution and merchant company. We are headquartered in Cleveland, Ohio, but we have 17 locations across Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, and down even into Louisville, Kentucky, and then also into Buffalo, New York a little bit too. So as far as sales managers go, we have 7 regional managers, but then we have directors within the corporate field that have specialties. So we have a director of stores and a director of wide format, someone in charge of our form solution. So really sales managers, you're going to be right about 13, within within the executive team.
Okay, and how many salespeople altogether?
Salespeople are sitting just shy of 100.
Well, we're here specifically to talk about your experience with what we call our immersion program, which the official title is the Kahle Way Distributor Selling System. And for people who don't know, that's a 16-month program that we deliver in what we believe to be a very proprietary kind of methodology, which is weekly emails that deliver a piece of content, and it drips that content over and over again over the course of a month. Okay, so you had the whole sales force. You had 100 salespeople and the sales managers and so on, all involved.
Yeah. Yep, the entire sales force.
To what degree did you get everybody sort of embracing the program and doing it?
I would say that when we rolled out, 25 to 30% of people were on board, willing to be open, try something new. We had over 60% that were watching the videos, that were doing the reading the blogs or listening to the podcasts and things, right? And many of them did it as groups as well. And what we really saw was adoption start to creep up, and the stickiness became really solid because we started having people turn in their handwork, talk as groups about what was going on, and realize that this was a system that we were going to really go all in and incorporate throughout the entire team. You really have to have those monthly meetings and those, I guess you could say, cheerleaders or just really leaders in each organization to say, hey, what are we learning? How are we using this? And how do we incorporate this in our day-to-day? So absolutely.
So in your system, now again, for people who don't know, the system has is 16 modules, and at the end of every module, which is a month, there is a scripted call or meeting between the manager and his or her sales force, and we script those and send that to each manager. But we expect the manager to have that end of the month conversation. And we call the AEF meeting, which is Accountability Encouragement Follow-Up Meeting, every single month. So in your system, was it the regional sales managers who were doing that, or was it the local sales managers? It
was the regional sales managers, which are local for us. So that regional manager is local for that division and maybe 2 or 3 satellite stores. And then they also incorporated the monthly plans individually with each salesperson.
I guess it's time to ask that ultimate question is how'd it go? Yeah.
So we really saw conversations that you wouldn't have seen before. People talking to each other, not even just the manager and the employee, but teams.
Yeah, it's one of the things that we hear. Like we didn't intend this necessarily. I mean, we intended to change salespeople's behavior. That's the whole idea, but we never really anticipated the improvement in communication that came as a result of that. And we hear it from everybody that's in the program, is that the communication between not only the salesperson and the sales manager, but among groups and so on, just is ratcheted up to a degree that honestly most companies said they've never had before. And so how are sales?
So sales are really good. We have absolutely just catapulted, I think, into a new level of selling styles and a level of confidence, I think, that comes along with some of the things when you plan and you get really aligned together. Our sales, we're growing at 10, 12%. We now saw over 20% growth year over year. We had our biggest year ever this last year. I know that a lot of that is attributed to us getting aligned as a team to incorporating a lot of these processes and being able to focus and really communicate. The other thing was the key, what you call your key account strategy planner, and we really used it for our focus growth accounts. And we are up year over year, 73% in sales in those accounts that we assigned that.
I often hear from people who are considering this something to the effect of, well, my guys are really experienced. They've been around a long time. Are they going to learn anything from this? What would you say to that?
So we have a sales force. Over 50% of our sales team will be retiring in the next 3 to 5 years. Of 100. So you could say we have the same type of thing that people might say, right? Like, we have people that have been selling forever. They're not going to use this or learn. I think everyone used it to differing degrees, but I think what was really great was seeing some of our senior sales reps and what they grasped onto, and then also what they chose to talk about in their meetings, because obviously they're the ones that many people look up to and want to be like, or they want to understand what's that secret sauce, right? And you saw a lot of them taking bits and pieces of the module and saying, gosh, I hadn't thought about this in a while, or this is a great way to revisit. So again, I think that it doesn't matter whether you have someone brand new in the middle of their career or towards the last 5 years of their career. I think it's just that being able to sharpen your pencil, or no different than when someone goes out to the golfing range to practice their golf swing, right? It is just a way to kind of look at your craft and figure out how you can hone in it and decide what you want to take from it and what what works best for where you are in your business.
Yeah, great. And what about the sales managers?
I had one manager that had what I would call an okay relationship with one of her top salespeople, and she wasn't sure how he would, and he was a long-term veteran of the sales field, and she said, I don't know how he's really going to take to the system, what's going to, how he's going to react with me, and I'll tell you what, she has said time and time again, their dialogue has opened up tenfold. Their pointed meetings, it was kind of the scheduled affirmation that he needed each month to say, wow, you're really doing a lot, you're doing a great job. It was a way where she didn't know how to communicate how he wanted to communicate, and this was a great way not only for them to connect on a business level, but also on a personal level. She learned more things about his family and was able to really get him opening about how he wanted to transition accounts when that time comes, and it really just opened that conversation. So I think that's one example, right? But I think across the board, our team has started to communicate and talk to their customers and their employees differently, have been able to insightfully coach, develop, and support their teams in a way that's more meaningful. So I've seen that growth and change over the entire team.
Well, I really feel good when something works the way it should.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
This
right?
and to a large measure to you, sort of managing and running the whole thing. I mean, this is really it has worked really well for you, and it always feels good for me.